Happy Friday, everyone. Okay, so I've got a one-a-day for you, and this one-a-day is belly button therapy, all right? So this is belly button therapy. And what is it if you've never seen it before? Well, that's all it takes. And this is such an amazing, amazing technique, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So everybody knows that, I do a lot of postings. You maybe don't know me, or you do know me. You're either going to like me, or maybe you don't like me. Maybe you even hate me. The reality is this. It was a long time ago that I stopped needing anybody's approval. Now, why would that be? Well, because I realized something that a lot of people aren't awake. And the other thing I realized is that there's people with different beliefs than mine. There's people that believes that only medical doctors should be allowed to do health. There's people that have all different types of beliefs. Now, what are we going to do with that, aren't we? So yesterday, what I had is early in the morning, I did a video on showing me reducing a fibroid in a woman's breast. So I have somebody that come on and they go, well, he's not a medical doctor. He's not a dietitian. He's not a lawyer. Now understand something. I get it. Haters hate. The reality is this. Why do human beings have to squabble with each other? And why is it that if the government says something, we just follow it? If you want to follow government regulations, you go right ahead. But you're not going to be able to come on to any of my platforms and just bash me because my beliefs don't match yours. I need you to understand that. First of all, medical doctors are into drugs. I'm not into drugs. Never wanted to be a medical doctor, ever. Medical doctors don't recognize scar tissue, okay, until someone has to have an implant or surgery to remove the tumor or to put in an implant in their hip, their knee, or their spine, or somewhere else. I don't do that. So understand something. I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't dispense drugs. So if you think that you can come on any of my platforms and you can try to let everybody know that I'm fraud, well, guess what? I'm not pretending to be anything but I am. I have a doctorate, okay, in natural medicine. I have a doctorate in acupuncture. I earned those. And understand something. If you don't like what I have to say, you need to go somewhere else and stop upsetting yourself. That would be really important. I needed to come and say this because whether you want to believe it or not, all the people that believe that I don't deserve to exist or I don't deserve to talk about health, I've earned my place in health. I teach more self-love, self-care, self-empowerment than any other practitioner that I know on the globe. And I don't say I know the whole world, but I do get around. Now, the reality is this. If you don't like me, go find people you like. And the reality is this, is my passion and my purpose is to show people that they don't have to have scar tissue. They don't have to have surgery. They don't have to suffer. Let me tell you something. People will say, we were born to suffer. No, we weren't. We were trained to suffer. And you are not, okay, allowed to come on and distract people from learning how to get their confidence, their dignity, their respect for themselves. I am not going to put up with it. And you need to get that right now. There are people out there that are suffering, that are in pain, and I've helped hundreds of thousands of people, and I already know that. I have helped people that will never call me, I already know that. Because when you truly come from your heart and your passion, and you embrace nature and harmony and frequency and light and everything that truly matters. So understand something. You come on and start causing trouble. Sometimes people make mistakes. I will answer you back. But if you're there because guess what? You don't like what I have to say, or you don't believe that I deserve to say it, I don't really care. You will be taken off my platform. I want to make something perfectly clear. There are millions of people out there that at least deserve the chance to have the life that was promised to them. You can't get health out in mainstream. You're not going to get it. And if you think that's health, then you're not even awake yet. So I just want to make myself perfectly clear. I don't answer to you haters. I don't answer to you medical doctors. I don't answer to you government. I don't answer to the rules that everybody makes. You know who I answer to? I answer to one person, not one person, one thing, and that is my Creator. I do not bow down to anyone, and I do not ask anyone to bow down to me. I want us all to look at each other eye to eye, because we are family. We're all going to go back to the same place that we came from. Wherever that is, I'm not saying I know. But the reality is this: why can't we just get along? Why can't we empower each other? Why can't we love each other? The same person that's on the Facebook bashing me is the same person that is the real virus, the real epidemic, okay? And it's called pulling each other apart, not standing together. So I'm done ranting, but understand this. You know what you're going to be seeing? You're going to be seeing another video. And this next video is going to be me showing how I'm taking down an arthritic joint that is huge in 20 minutes. Understand something. I have the right to take away people's pain and suffering. I have the right to teach people that pain is a GPS and that they can live with their pain as soon as they master it by learning that they are beautiful, they are amazing, and that they have unlimited healing when they have beliefs that have been dipped in unconditional total love for themselves. Don't come around. We don't need you. I'm not out to try to sway someone to think my way. I'm not out to change people. I'm only here for those people who say, I want more. I don't want to follow the herd. I just want more, Dr. Wolfe. I want to give everything that I have to those who want it. And those who don't, who invited you anyway? Thank you very much. So let's talk about belly button therapy. And understand, you're going, well, is he going to do the one a day? Why does he have to talk about that and then this? Well, because it matters to me. That's why. It matters to me. And you know what? The reason why I did this is because everybody out there that you're trying to fight for your freedom, for your health, you need to stand powerful, because the majority of the population around you are scared or so fearful that they're not going to back you up. So you've got to stand in your power. And this is why I just had this. This wasn't to come after the haters. This was to come after the lovers and say, it's okay. Love yourself unconditionally. You don't need anybody's approval, whether it's a family, a friend, the government, or anybody else. Nobody rules this guy. They may think they do, but they don't. I have a right to be here and tell me where I'm doing harm when I'm empowering people to take their life back. I want you to take your life back. Everybody listen to me. Take your life back today, okay? And when you're quiet and sitting with yourself and you're going, I know I can do this, make sure that you get yourself a love band, life band, or make sure that you remind yourself enough that it's your life and you hold the line no matter who it is. Let's get to it. All right. I want to talk about belly button therapy. Now, belly button therapy, you know what? Some of the most simplest things and the most cost-effective things are the most powerful things. Just like love, you can't see it, but my God, we all need it, okay? It's just like the air you breathe. You can't see it, but you can't live without it. But what if you were able to master the parasympathetic? What if you could get yourself into a relaxation state deeper than any drug, any supplement, and you could do it in 5 minutes? And what if you could do it anywhere and you could do it for yourself? Because guess what? When you learn that it's all about doing it for yourself, you got to take care of yourself. You got to love yourself. What do you want to do? Go from treatment to treatment for the rest of your life? Or you want to go to this drug to that drug? Or you want to try to see how much nutrition you have to take to try to bring your vibration up when you can bring your vibration up anytime you want? So let's talk about it first. Let me go over a few things. And this is the brochure that you'll actually get. But let me just explain things. So, belly button therapy. What are the benefits? I'm just going to read a few. Improve your vagal tone. Well, did you know that your vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the human body? That it starts at the brain and it runs through the whole body and runs to all the organs? Did you know that it comes right down the side of your neck too? And that's why a lot of people get neck problems, and it freezes their vagus nerve so they stay in a sympathetic state. But what if you could get yourself in a parasympathetic state and you could practice getting into a parasympathetic state? And that's what you got to do. You got to practice loving yourself. You got to practice getting yourself into a peaceful state. You got to practice feeling good. You got to practice healing. Hey, did you get that? You got to practice healing, because we don't practice healing. We need to become very conscious. We need to become in the moment. So we can actually trigger the vagus nerve, which is the parasympathetic state, taking us out of the sympathetic state. And the sympathetic state is not very sympathetic. It will cause you fight, flight, and freeze. And you can't do that. You know, if you're in a sympathetic state, fight, fright state for more than 3 minutes, you are already going into a disease state because you're not at ease. Okay? All right, so let's take a next look at the next one. Get into the parasympathetic state. So it gets you into the parasympathetic state, like I just said. Release serotonin and dopamine in 5 minutes to 7 minutes. You've released 50% of the body's dopamine and 70% of the body's serotonin. There's nothing else that does that. Lose weight. Well, guess what? You know why people can't lose weight? You can't lose weight when you're in a sympathetic state, because when you're in a sympathetic state, what happens is you're dumping adrenaline and cortisol. They are very acidic. And when your body can't get rid of that acidity quick enough, it makes fat cells, because it has to make fat cells to store the acid, because if it doesn't store the acid on the outside, see, because the acid has to get away from your organs, or you are going to have some type of seizure. Okay, you're going to have a heart attack. You'll end up with diabetes. I mean, the list goes on. So that's why you find love handles. That's why you have mid-ridge bulge. That's why your tummy will be hanging over. And people go, well, I'm eating good. I don't know what's going on. I thought my diet was pretty good. Well, you know, with all that acid coming in because you're in fight, fright, flight, okay, you have to make fat cells. And your body will do that to store it. And then it gets really bad. What happens? Okay, then you get scar tissue. Then when it gets worse, the scar tissue turns into tumors, fibroid tumors, which I just showed yesterday, okay, where I was showing that I reduced a fibroid tumor in a woman's breast by 50%. Now, people find that shocking. But the reality is this: just because something's new doesn't make it wrong. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't make it right. I want you to think about that. Okay, so increase energy. Well, let me tell you. If you're in a fight, flight response in the sympathetic state, you've got to understand something. You're supposed to be running with your arms and your legs from the tiger so that you can hide, so you don't get chewed up. But what if it's a make-believe tiger and you're always dumping adrenaline and cortisol, but you're not running? Well, guess what you're doing? You're running your immune system down. You're running your energy levels down. So as soon as you can kick from a sympathetic into a parasympathetic state, right away you're dumping dopamine and serotonin, which are the healing hormones that give you that beautiful, peaceful energy, not that fight, fright energy. Okay? So, calm down. Well, that's obvious. You'll feel it as you do it. You'll just be going, this is where I like to be on holiday. That's right. Okay, sleep better. If you do this, okay, If you rub peppermint oil on the bottom of your feet, you do the belly button therapy, okay, just before you go to sleep, and connect to the lion heart breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, and you just think about your day and all the things you're grateful for, and how tomorrow when you wake up, you're only going to take positive action in your life and not have reaction. Set yourself up, okay? And you'll fall asleep. The reason why people can't sleep is because they terrorize themselves all day, dumping adrenaline and cortisol, and they don't even know it. And they're also dehydrated, because most people don't realize that you need to drink 3/4 of an ounce of water for every pound that you are, and that you should be eating a whole plant-based diet. But please go check out my library and the 4 pillars of the perfect day, and you'll get all that. And if you do have trouble sleeping, you can get what we have. It's called Mag Infusion, and put 2 scoops under your tongue 20 minutes before you go to sleep, and then do the belly button therapy, and you're going to be like, yeah, I got this. And then if you ever decide you want to buy an Avicin that'll increase your energy by 67%, well, 3 out of 4 people fall asleep when they do Avicin, okay? And that device increases the circulation more than any other device in the human body. Now, anybody on here that's going, wow, I thought he was just talking about belly button therapy. You have to understand there's a lot of people out there searching for a pain-free life on an emotional and physical level. So I'm going to bring up other things. So you need to be okay with that. Thank you. Okay, now let's keep going. Relieves stress and anxiety. Well, that's a fact. Okay, relieves pain almost anywhere. Yeah. Okay, so did you know that your hormones travel at the speed of light? That's right. So when you trigger your belly button, it actually triggers the brain to release this dopamine and serotonin rush. Go figure. Okay? And because the vagus nerve is the wandering nerve that runs almost through the whole body, it goes there at lightning speed, at the speed of light. Well, that's what we are. We're light energy beings. Okay. So, increases flexibility. Ha. Hey, let me tell you something. I won't do it here, but you can do it at home. And because I'm so flexible already. But the reality is, before you actually do the belly button therapy, what you're going to do is you're going to do like stretch to the side, this side, touch your toes. Do a couple stretches that usually you feel really tight. Okay? All right? And then remember them. Then what I want you to do, okay, is do the belly button therapy, and you're going to find out that you have a 25% more stretch throughout your body. Now, isn't that amazing? So look at, yoga doesn't even do that. And that's why hormones and chemicals in your body are so amazing. So you could spend an hour doing yoga and it won't give you the stretch that this will give you in a few minutes. All right? Now, loosen your gut, neck, and shoulders. That's right. When you do your belly button, it loosens your whole core. Okay? Your neck and your shoulders will be looser. I mean, think about this. I mean, go figure, eh? Where's this been all my life? Okay. But not just that. When you work on your belly button, just remember something. Okay? How did your mother feed you when you're in the womb? It was through the belly button, wasn't it? So guess what? What are you doing right now? You're stimulating the belly button, which was the life cord when you were in your mother's womb. And you're triggering all of these frequencies. You're triggering all of these chemicals. And you're bringing so much to life. Stimulate the gut-brain connection. That's right. When you do your belly button, you're actually stimulating the bacteria in your large intestine. And they are actually coming alive. The frequency of working on your belly button actually feeds them a frequency that makes them stronger and helps them to multiply even quicker. So you could do the belly button therapy 2 to 3 times a day, but you want to start off easy when you start, like anything else. Because most people, Their intestines are such a mess. Their intestines do not slip and slide like they should. Most people have so many adhesions, and the small intestines is stuck to another piece of the small intestine, or the small intestine is stuck to the spleen or the stomach, or the large intestine is stuck to the small intestine, or the large intestine is stuck to the rib cage. I mean, understand something. We have a lot of adhesions because the more inflammatory your mind is, the more inflammatory your diet is, the more inflammation you have, the more scar tissue formation you create. So we actually create scar tissue in our body when we have inflamed thoughts and when we have an inflamed diet. Okay. Stimulates the lymphatic system. Well, go figure, right? Okay. So your lymphatic system moves like molasses, but you know what it is, right? Your lymph nodes between in your groin, okay, behind your knees, your ankles, under your arms, your neck, okay. But we have lymph nodes all over the body, but those are the main areas. And the problem is that lymph moves like molasses. So when you actually do the belly button therapy, it increases the flow of the lymph. And your lymph is a major part of your immune system. So you need to get that, okay? A lot of women, mainly women because of the bras, but men too, but mainly women, will feel like there's fat under their armpit. That's not fat. That's congested lymph, right? And you'll get rid of that through clapping, right? Which I'm not going to show today, but you can go see my clapping videos in my library, Clapping for Health guide, okay? And you'll see a lot of do-it-yourself, in the do-it-yourself guide in my library, you'll see lots of things on clapping and skin brushing and belly button therapy and other things like that, even ear restore. But you can go check that out. Raise your core temperature. Okay, all right. Okay, guys, seriously. You raise your core temperature by 1 degree, it kills infection. It kills infection in the body, right? Because it's like a mini fever, right? But you can do it and raise your core temperature with this belly button therapy. Now, if you raise it by 2 degrees, it has been shown that it actually helps to what? Slow down and even reverse cancer cells. Because everything is about circulation, right? Everything is about dumping the right chemicals and hormones. Because it's all about healing. It's all about getting into that peace. I found peace. I found healing. Okay. So, of course, you're going to raise your immune system. Because the more that you're in a parasympathetic state, the less inflammation you're creating with your mind, your body, and the less adrenaline and cortisol you're dumping, you're not attacking your immune system anymore. And when you don't attack your immune system, what does it do? It has time to reboot. And part of that immune system is, of course, your lymph system, your kidneys. But mainly, it's your large intestine and your good bacteria, which I already told you that when you do belly button therapy, every time you do it, you're activating it. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you've had a cesarean, if you've had an appendix operation, if you've had colitis, if you've had SIBO, if you've had chronic constipation, if you had a hiatal hernia, if you have an inguinal hernia, okay, if you've had ulcers, you need to do this. This will help to heal so fast. I'm going to tell you something. So, do you know how many people call me and they go, Dr. Wolfe, I got diarrhea, it won't stop. Dr. Wolfe, I've got cramps. Dr. Wolfe, I've got bloating. Dr. Wolfe, I've got heartburn. Dr. Wolfe, Dr. Wolfe, Dr. Wolfe. This area here, which is your core, which is your abdominal area, okay, it takes on 80% of the pain. So we will experience 80% of our pain is experienced just in this area. Did you know that? That's where it is for the majority of the population, is in the core area. Now, when you've got pain, you got inflammation. When you got inflammation, you got scar tissue formation. You also have crystallization. You also have displaced calcium. So when I do belly button, and when I teach, and we actually will come on and we will do a consultation with someone, we will go on and teach people how to work on any part of their body, how to do belly button therapy, how to do skin brushing, how to do salt close. We will teach them the perfect day diet. Okay, we will even teach them how to do some of our Wolfe Non-Surgical so that they can go in, and this is just on Skype, okay, or on Zoom throughout the world, and we'll teach you how to go and fix that part of the body that it just seems nobody else can. So here's what I'm going to tell you, is that when you start using this, we're going to do the belly button therapy first. And when we do the belly button therapy, once we've done that, we've put ourselves into a relaxed state. Remember the 25% stretch that we have? Then we're going to go in and we're going to use this belly button therapy kit, and we're going to go into other places, right from our sternum all the way down to our pubic bone. We're going to be looking at hot spots and areas that have blocks. Listen to me. You can't have pain unless you have a block. You can't have scar tissue. You have to have scar tissue to have pain, to have the block, or displaced calcium, or crystallization. And every block is stopping your chi, your energy flow. You know, the energy flow that we call spirit, that we forget about, which is the major part of us, which is all of us basically. This is just a vehicle for us to travel in while we're down here. But the reality is that this vehicle ends up getting physical blocks that slow down our energy. Just like beaver dams in a river. The more beaver dams you have, the more that you're going to slow the energy. All right, so I hope you're getting this. So you know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. This is the world we live in. No, don't give people back their power. No, don't do that. So yeah, so I'm going to come on, and I'm going to keep coming on, and I'm going to give everybody techniques. I'm going to give you a technique that you can use. Actually, just use an LED, different colored lights on your earlobe to get rid of, believe it or not, emotional trauma that you had when you were a child. Understand something. The real true healing has been hidden. And even natural health practitioners don't want to give out too much information because they think they might run out of sick people. Oh my gosh, like anybody's keeping up to helping people. We must give everybody back their power in every possible way. So it doesn't matter if somebody tells me I don't have the right. I have the right to teach anything to anyone that doesn't cause harm, that helps to empower them, to heal them. And that's the way this is going to continue. There is nothing I want to do more than serve you. And if you don't want to be served by me, then pick a new restaurant. And that's all I got to say. And I mean that in the nicest way. But I just want the word to go out that the haters can't keep hating. They got to go somewhere else. Now, all right, let me just go through a couple of other things here. So I'm just going to tell you, and this is the truth. Belly button therapy will help get rid of joint pain. Okay? It gets rid of inflammation. It helps you to unstress. Isn't that something? Okay? If you have IBS, diarrhea, digestive disorders, bloating, constipation, and the list goes on. Fibroids, scar tissue from surgery. If you have residual pain from old injury. If you're experiencing anxiety or depression. You want to balance your hormones. Oh, come on, Dr. Wolfe. Now you pushed it too far. You're going to tell me this is going to balance my hormones? Let me tell you something. The biggest thing that I see going on now, even with natural health or medical health, is everybody's running after the hormones to try to balance the hormones. And that is like coming in through the back door, okay, when you should be coming in through the front door. You're not getting to the cause at all. That is a big problem as far as I'm concerned. And this is the way it always goes, doesn't it? We're always chasing our tail. We almost feel like we can get healthy, and then it's gone. Or it's just a mystery and nobody can figure it out. Isn't it kind of funny how nobody can figure out the mystery of helping to heal people? Well, that ends. That's going to end. That's going to end. I've dedicated my life to this, and the more that people come at me about this and tell me to stop or try to cut me off, the more I'm going to keep on coming and helping you because you deserve it. Stiffness throughout the body. Well, I just told you 25% extra stretch. If you're an athlete, you want to use it before you actually go and do your exercise or training or sport. Let me tell you, because now you're not going to tear out. Now you're going to come out of there not feeling so stiff. So if you're an athlete and you're going out to play a sport, or you're going to the gym, or you're going to go run, or you're going to go out and dance for the evening, okay? Which we will get to dance again. But if you're going to do any of these things, if you do belly button therapy before, you're not going to be as stiff, and you're not going to tear a ligament or a tendon, or you're going to have a muscle cramp. I'm telling you, look at 25% extra stretch after 5 to 7 minutes of doing this. Come on. Okay, so why don't you just pleasure yourself? Why don't you make yourself feel good anytime you want? And guess what? When you get all tight with anxiety, why don't you just loosen yourself up and get yourself back to where you belong, into that beautiful healing state. This is why people don't heal. This is why somebody says, I'm a 3-time cancer survivor. Why don't you be a 1-time thriver? Okay? It's because you haven't learned how to dump the right chemicals, the right hormones, and keep yourself in a parasympathetic state. You're just running the same programs. You can cut the tumor out, but did you cut the belief out? So practice loving yourself, caring for yourself. Okay. So, and after you're done your sport, just think if you just took 5 minutes to do this. You wouldn't have to get on the ground, start stretching for 20 minutes to try to see if you can do it. First do this and then test yourself. And I guarantee you, the hormones are going to do it for you. The chemicals are going to do it for you. Let's hack this thing. All I want to do is hack your day. And in hacking your day, to help you create the perfect day or a better day, a day that you love more. I want you to be excited to get up in the morning. I want you to be excited throughout the day. And I want you to see at the end of the day and go, wow, I really loved this day. I loved myself well. I cared for myself. And guess what? I shined that light everywhere. Okay? So, those are some of the basic things I'm going to show you quickly. If you want to go on my website, I already said, go to the Do-It-Yourself guide in my library, and you can take a look at the belly button therapy. But let me just show you some things quickly, okay? And I'll tell you something right now. These two things go together like you wouldn't believe, okay? So if I was going to do clapping, I would do belly button therapy first. Now, and when I do belly button therapy, are you ready for this? After you do belly button therapy, if you have CBD oil or THC, if you have a split like CBD, THC, that's really the best. Put 2 drops in your belly button with 2 drops of frankincense, okay? And then if you want, you can take your finger and just move it around a little bit. But remember, it's all warmed up now, okay? You can just lay back and let it just soak in. But do you know what that does after you do belly button therapy? It actually stimulates 72,000 nerve endings throughout your whole body, okay, to heal you. That's right. So let's put you in a parasympathetic state, and then let's do this belly button drop therapy, like I just told you, and activate 72,000 nerve endings. Okay? All right? Okay. So I'm going to go through it fairly quickly. So here's what we do. If you can see a side angle here. And so first of all, you know what? Some people are going to go like this and it's going to hurt. Okay? I'm going to tell you something, whether you believe this or not, but I eat really well. But, you know, sometimes I just go. And not this last time, but before that, when I went to do actual training down in Mexico for some doctors, and it was how to actually reduce fibroids and how to work with tumors on a natural level. I don't know. I think I just went too hard, didn't get enough rest, and when I got home, okay, I was not feeling good. And it wasn't like I had diarrhea, but I kept having cramps, and then only a little bit of waste would come out. And that went on for about 2 or 3 days, and I just went, no more of this. And so I started doing the belly button therapy because sometimes, you know what, I forget even what I do. So I started doing the belly button therapy, and I did it 3 times in that day. But the first morning I did it, when I woke up, I went, oh my gosh, Daryl, wake up. So I went in there and I did it. And my routine was I first did the belly button therapy. I'm going to show you in a second. And then I went everywhere where I was feeling baby fists and cramping and inflammation and adhesions. And they were all in here. This is where it mainly was. And right down into the sigmoid area, I was all knotted up. And even just above the pubic bone, I had a baby fist there. And then up in here, and then even up in the stomach, because, of course, I'm going to have acidity rising, so it was really hard in here as well. I probably took about 20 minutes and did it, and that was it. That was it. 3 days of going to the bathroom, squirt, squirt, little bit of dribble, and I'd sit there and cramp up. Oh my gosh, I didn't like it. But you know what? Sometimes I needed to be in the present moment and wake the heck up, right? So I did that. And it just was like 80%, 90% gone. I did it again in the afternoon when I was just doing some phone calls. And then I did it again before bed. Next morning, gone. Gone. And you know what? People will live with this for days, for weeks. They'll take drugs to try to suppress it. And guess what? And that only injures your good bacteria, injures your stomach lining. Then you don't make as much hydrochloric acid. So yeah, you know what? The sooner you decide to take care and love yourself well and embrace nature that was created by God Almighty and stay away from mankind, because mankind's not kind, the better you're going to be. So here we go. So just start easy. Look at it, just easy. That's all. That's all you got to do. Start easy. But you know what? If it hurts that much, then look at me, 2 fingers. That's all you're going to do. Remember something. The more it hurts, the more you need it. It doesn't mean the more it hurts, the deeper you go. It doesn't mean the more it hurts, the more you're going to do it. You're going to love yourself gently. It's like when people do the Avicen, and they put their hand in, and they'll feel pain in their armpit. They'll go, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. And actually, the Avicen's increasing your circulation by over 67%. So they got a block here. And I say, well, you know what? If you can't breathe and stay there, then just take your hand out and then do a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever you can handle, a few times a day. But within a couple of days, guess what? You've unblocked your lymph nodes. So it's not about quitting things. But the reality is, we have been so programmed. If I'm in pain, I'm going to run for it. If I'm in pain, I'm going to kill it. Well, go ahead. You go ahead and kill pain. And you're killing your body. You go ahead and you love pain and say, thank you for the message. What do I need to do to get back in balance? Okay, so we're going to start first by coming straight. And look, this is how I do it. So now that I said you can go gentle, you're going to do it gentle. Okay, and if you do it the first time and you go, oh my gosh, my belly button's really sore, did I hurt something? You can't injure yourself. It's a little rubber buddy. Look at him. Look at him. Does he look dangerous? Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. You are so programmed that you will take toxic drugs in your food, in your water, and you'll even pay for them in prescriptions, and you'll take those, but then you're worried about buddy. Don't tell me we're not programmed. Okay, so now, here we go. So I'm going to go first in like this. Now look at how deep I can go. Well, I couldn't have done that time I was sick. I had to go slower, and it was more like going around and working with it, which I'll show when I lay down. So we're going to go in, okay? And remember something. There, you're going to do each move for 1 to 2 minutes, okay? That's it. And go as gentle as you want. But I can go right back. Look it. That's how deep I go, okay? So I'm almost touching my spine. But understand, you might even only be able to go that deep. Don't push yourself. This is about loving yourself, not pushing yourself. And this is about not guilting yourself. Oh, God, I'm such a wimp. Oh, my God, I'm a loser. Don't ever talk like that. And if you do, go like this, 3, 2, 1. No, that was the old me. I'm a winner. I got this. I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to be patient with myself so I don't become a patient. Okay. All right, so we're going to go first directly in. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go clockwise. So then we drop this down, okay, and we line it up with our leg up to our shoulder. And now we're going to come up, okay? So let's say if you had an appendix operation, you had a cesarean, you'd probably feel a pull because of the scar tissue, okay? If also you have a hiatal hernia, you might feel a little pressure up here when you're doing it. Don't worry about it. Just go gentle. The more you do it, and the more loving you are, and you'll be able to go deeper and deeper. So then you're going to come up and look at. I don't mess around. I come right up in, okay? Then take it over to the side. Now we're going to put it back in the belly button. And if you've got like a gallbladder liver problem, you might feel a pull over here. Okay. If you've got a stomach problem, there could be a tightness or low hydrochloric acid, or you haven't been eating right, or you did alcohol last night. You might feel a little pressure in there. Don't worry about it. It's all about circulation. Everything's about circulation. You know, they thought it was about genetics. They thought it was about your DNA and RNA. Then they thought it was about telomeres. And guess what? It's not about any of it. It's about microcirculation. The more you get your microcirculation going, the longer you live, the better you live. And guess what else? Okay, you ready for this? You are going to die because of a microcirculation problem in an organ or somewhere in your body. It's microcirculation, and I'm willing to come on with anybody who wants to come on my show and debate this. It's not telomeres. It's microcirculation. Now, so then we're going to take it in like this. Do that until you feel like you've loosened things up. Okay, ready? Then we're going to come on an angle, put it back in the belly button. Now we're coming from this leg up to this shoulder. See? And now we're going to come down. Okay, we're going to do that until we feel like we've loosened it. You know, just try to let's put it this way. The most intelligent moves you ever make come from a gut feeling, not from your head. Because most people have never learned how to master their mind, because you'd have to go in there and actually de-weed the dysfunctional beliefs. Like the people that come on here and go, you're not a dietitian, you're not a medical doctor, you're not a lawyer, what are you? Oh, I'm just a terrorist trying to teach people how to play with their belly button. Okay, so now we're going to come down. And once we've done that, then we're going to come straight down. So now you might feel a pull up here if you're leaning towards a hiatal hernia. Or maybe you've had stomach problems, right? Where your stomach has been in spasm because you don't know how to food combine. You eat too much sugar, okay? You eat too much animal protein and you're getting older and you've got mucus in your stomach, so now you're not dumping enough hydrochloric acid. So you're creating inflammation in there. So, you know, this is going to tell you a little bit about yourself. And then I'm going to come down. Okay, and then I'm going to come over. And now here we go again, guys. Now it's shoulder to leg again, isn't it? Okay, and then I'm going to come this way. Then I'm going to come over here, remember, to the side of the ribs. And I'm going to come in this angle here. Oh, and you're going to feel things. Like I feel a bit of a pull right in here. Almost made me feel a little nauseous, okay? So I would work that. And I felt the pull here and the nausea. So I'm going to make a note of that. And once I finish the belly button, where do you think I'm going to go with Buddy? I'm going to take Buddy up to this area here, the hot spot. Okay? So now I'm going to come down. All right? Now it's again leg to shoulder. And we're going to do the same thing. And you might feel some pressure here if you've got liver, gallbladder problems. You're not going to hurt yourself. Okay? All right? So just go as lightly as you want. You'll be able to go stronger later. Then we started, and then we're going to go right here. Look, and we're going to come up. Okay? Now, I've only had one surgery. I'm telling you the truth. I've only had one surgery since I had my tonsils out, since I was a child. And it was a vasectomy. Now, I wish I wouldn't have, but I did. Okay? All right? Now, when I had that, I always kind of felt something down here. It healed, but I would always feel this niggling, right? When I started doing belly button therapy years and years ago, okay? When I did that, I felt right where the surgery was. Okay? So then, oh my gosh. Okay, so that means I've got scar tissue there. So wherever you're feeling pain when you do this, you've got a block. So what I did was, because you have to understand something. I put Wolfe Non-Surgical together when I was 27 years old. Okay? And it is the most powerful body work in the world. And understand, you can live in pain as long as you want. And you don't have to believe me, but I will give you a money-back guarantee. And this is not because I'm the marketing guy. It's because I'm telling you the God's truth that you can heal yourself and not have to get a cane or a walker or a wheelchair or to get a hip replacement or to get a knee replacement. And most people would go for new parts like screws and bolts and plates, and a knee replacement or a hip replacement actually don't need it. because your body does heal. Your bone does grow back. Your tissues do grow back. And most of the time they tell you that it's bone on bone. It's not. The tissues have calcified. And you can take that to the bank. And I'm willing to come on with anyone who would like to come on and have a professional debate with me. My phone number is 855-900-4544, extension 5, because I'm very serious about this. Because I want this to come out. Because I need people to understand that there's not a person that's watching this today that cannot heal themselves. Everybody can. When somebody says to you, there's nothing we can do. That's right. Because they don't have the information. That's all. So we're going to continue, and then we're going to finish where? Right where we started. Now, that's the belly button therapy. It took me a while, eh? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something. Remember what I told you about hot spots? Okay. Just let me move this. Okay. So, remember what I told you about hot spots? So I said I had a hot spot right here. When I was younger, I had heartburn all the time. Even when I was a young kid, I think I was just so nervous and stressed out, you know. After my parents broke up, in my head, not maybe in my brother's, but I just thought life was never going to be the same, and you just can't trust anyone, and, you know. So anyways, right here I felt a spot, and so I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to lovingly just move around to where I feel the hook. There it is, right there. There's the angle. See, I didn't feel it anywhere. This is the move. So you got to, you know what? Play the angles. Play the angles. See? Play the angles. That's why nothing works like this. So you could be like misconstipated. So get down here. And you know what? Move that poop around. Move that intestine. Remember something. It doesn't matter whether you got gallbladder issues. Go gentle. Whether you had your appendix taken out or it bothers you. Whether you have bladder problems, you got to move things around, be gentle, and then you'll be able to go deeper and deeper. Because the reality is, you don't want to stir up too much too fast. And that means this. Wherever there's crystallization, we know there was inflammation. Wherever there's calcification, we know there's lots of inflammation. And when there's scar tissue formation, you have to understand, fat cells hold acid and toxins, right? We established that. Well, guess what holds even worse toxins and more acidity and heavy metals? Scar tissue. And what even holds worse than that? Fibroids. What holds worse than that? A cancerous tumor. So see, it's all like this, you know, a pimple to a tumor. So if you're not going to take massive personal action to look after yourself, that's your business. But understand something. If I were you in this day and age, because it's called corporate health, I would mind my own business. And that's looking after that beautiful body of yours, loving yourself well, filling up your heart. Check out my skin brushing video in the Do-It-Yourself guide. Check out clapping your clapping for health guide in my library. Check out how to do an Epsom salt glow on your body. Check out how to do a cocoa salt glow on your body. You can find this also, a lot of this in the back chapter of my book, Healthy to 100, and you can get the PDF free in the library, or you can just order it. It's $15. And the other thing is, check out the 4 pillars of the perfect day in the library. Your body's a rental. You have 50 trillion cells. You've got 500 trillion good bacteria that are saying, pay attention, love us, and we'll love you back. You need to find your brave heart. And you need to do that. Do you know why? Because you're going to need to find your roar. And you're going to need to let people know who won't want to love themselves that you're going to anyways. God bless and thanks for joining me. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.